What if Ukraine declares war on Belarus in 2024? It's me. This is a history hot tip. Today we are going to be talking about what would happen if Ukraine were to declare war on Belarus in 2024. As we all know, Ukraine and Belarus have a bit of a complicated history together. And this has been especially true since the Ukrainian Revolution of 2014, which saw the two countries go from being close allies to being bitter enemies. Since then, Belarus has served as a staging ground for Russia's invasion of Ukraine and has become increasingly autocratic and pro-Russian. Tensions between the two countries have only increased since then, and many Ukrainians feel that their country should take action against Belarus as well as against Russia. Now, it's important to remember that Belarus is a sovereign nation and that any war between two nations would be a very serious matter. With that said, let's explore this topic further. What if Ukraine were to declare war on Belarus in 2024? Well, the first thing that we would likely see is a massive increase in tensions between Ukraine and Russia. As we know, Russia and Belarus have very close ties and are essentially strategic partners. Any war between Ukraine and Belarus would almost certainly drag Russia into the conflict. The Russian military is already heavily involved in the war in Ukraine, and it's unlikely that they would stand idly by while Belarus was being attacked. Potentially involving the entire North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and the Warsaw Pact, which is a military alliance led by Russia. Another likely consequence of a war between Ukraine and Belarus would be the collapse of Belarus. The Belarusian military is much smaller than the Ukrainian military, and it's unlikely that they would be able to resist an attack from Ukraine. Additionally, the Belarusian people have been largely pro-democracy and anti-war. It's possible that they would welcome the prospect of a Ukrainian invasion as a chance to overthrow their government and bring about a new era of democracy in Belarus. Of course, this is all just speculation, but it's interesting to think about how a war between these two countries could potentially play out. Personally, I do not think that it's likely that Ukraine would declare war on Belarus in 2024. The Ukrainian military is already stretched thin as it is, and it's unlikely that they would want to take on another country at this time. Additionally, Ukraine is likely aware that such a move would almost certainly drag Russia into the conflict and potentially lead to the use of nuclear weapons. So, what do you think? Is a war between Ukraine and Belarus in 2024 likely? How do you think the war would play out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.